Welcome to Behind Enemy Lines. Tonight, we've got a very special guest, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Pierce, running for office there in Illinois, and somebody that is an actual America First candidate, a real fighter. Now, we got a video to run here first, right, Terry?
Yeah, we're after we're done speaking with Mike, we're gonna jump into Tuesday night, the October 7th Hamas protest at the Israeli Consulate, and I was there with our Jewish friends, peacefully, and we're gonna talk about that. So we're gonna show a little clip, and then we're gonna pull Mike in right away, and then after we're done with Mike, back to October 7th.
Sounds good.
What you're hearing is them calling for intifada. Intifada is the Islamic jihad. Rise up for war. We're here on this awful day, the second anniversary of the terrible attack from Hamas on Israel. We have a lot of Christians, a lot of Jews, and a lot of just Americans that are concerned that we would be allowing Hamas to dictate our freedoms, dictate our way of life, the Western values, the Judeo-Christian values. And I love that we can stand here and we can say, hey, we stand with Israel. The reason that we're here is this building contains the consulate of Israel for the Midwest. And this is where Hamas and pro-Palestinian protesters said that they are going to be gathering. Now, so far, there's only a few people, which is really nice that we have so many people here. I think that number will grow, but some of their signage is terrible. And the fact that they would have Hezbollah and Hamas flags and stuff is hideous and should not be allowed in America. That's where Mayor Johnson, Governor Pritzker, you guys need to get your act together and not allow this in the United States. President Trump, we do want you here. We do need you to solve these problems that we have here in Chicago.
Thank you. So we'll see that on the back end. Hello, Mike.
Hi.
So
How you doing today?
Good. Great for having you on here. So why don't you give the folks your bio and why you're running before we jump into the Q&A and stuff, right? Share a little bit about yourself and then why what made you want to run in this crazy state of Illinois.
Well, there's a good reason. I think that you kind of already indicated that with that earlier podcast, video clip that you put there. We have J.B. Pritzker and what he's been doing in Illinois. We're leading the way in the worst statistics. So why I'm running is because I want to fix that. I want to work to lower taxes. I want to lower the cost of living, and I want to better educational outcomes for our kids. And I want to bring jobs back to Illinois. And I want to, get people refocused on the important things and not the bright, shiny objects that inflame everybody's emotions where nobody is listening to common sense. So I'm a retired Army guy. I want to make a difference in my world and my community and do what I can to make it better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah,
Mike
I
Lauber?
can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the screen went black, so we're back on. It looked like we had a little issue there.
Okay, that might have been on your end. Everything looked okay over here. But yeah, sorry, guys. We are having some technical issues tonight. There's a delay with our guest from when he hears us speak. So not much we can do about that. So sorry if we're talking over each other a little bit. But yeah, part of the reason I wanted to bring you on, Lieutenant Colonel, is you're somebody that is actually... one of the issues that we have all the time with candidates, especially in states like Illinois, which I know you guys are going to tell me it's a red state with a blue city, but states that are voting blue at the moment, that a lot of the Republican candidates aren't really Republicans. They're either undocumented Democrats or they're running so far towards the middle they went past the middle, and they're basically Democrats with an R behind them. But you're actually running on America First values. You're running an aggressive campaign. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because, again, you're doing well, but you're also not shying away from representing the country and pushing back against this madness from Pritzker and everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a short sleeve guy. Have my military service 20 plus years, plus another 15 years working as military contractor overseas. And, I've seen the world. I've seen what communism brings. I've seen what it's like for the people and the after effects of living in a dictatorship. And I've also seen, the great things that we have in our country. There's nothing like coming back to America. I mean, what a thrill every time I feel when I fly back home. And so when I see what's been happening to Illinois, the loss of jobs, a loss of political clout, which is funny because that's the word they came up with. The Mayor Daley, the first one, was in office, clout. And Chicago, and as a result, causing Illinois to lose it. We used to have 24 representatives in Congress. We now have 17 on our way down to 16. So I need somebody who's going to really stand up and assert, look, these are where we need half of our citizens and our state and our nation, because where Illinois goes, it will certainly help America. This is a great, tremendous infrastructure. We've got well-educated people, but what they're doing is they're ignoring, the obvious, and they're just trying to get everybody distracted instead of taking their business right here in the state of Illinois.
So can you tell?
Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
Good. Do you have anyone going against you in the primary, Mike? And then who is your Democratic competitor?
Yes, I have a 3 primary opponents, and I'm trying to work my way through that gauntlet. And in addition, I have a Bill Foster who's been in office for quite a long time. But I would say that, and in terms of my things that differentiate me from the other candidates, obviously I'm the only one who's had active duty military service and deployed, to Iraq. I'm not the only one with military service, but I am the only one who actually went to, Operation Iraqi Freedom. My son went over to Iraq and Afghanistan during the pullout. I've got a PhD in organizational leadership, so I've got some distinguishing things. But most importantly is my ability to connect with everybody, right? That's the important thing. And I'm not sure that, we need somebody who's going to be able to get us over the hump. We need to bring in the other voters. And I'm not sure that the other candidates connect the same way that I do. As far as Bill Foster goes, he's been in for quite a while. He's taken some creative stands by voting present. It hasn't really done a lot of spelling. So he's got some votes that he has when he has taken against voting against the Laken Riley Act, or the Riley Gaines. He's for women having men come into women's rooms, and he's been for illegal immigrants being in here and trying to go after innocent victims. So that's his record. I'm not going to say why and things, but he's got a record. He's got to try to lie. His plan is to say it's Trump's fault. Well, if it's Trump's fault, then why is it that during 2024 that Illinois had a 250% increase in homelessness? Well, that wasn't Trump's fault. Democrats were in charge, all the way from the city of Chicago to Springfield up to the White House. But he's going to try and say that he wants to make this a race about Trump. We're going to make this a race about J.D. Pritzker and Bill Foster. And one of the other candidates, Sheriff Jim Mendrick, has been really going after Pritzker. And both of us we got a connection with people. We're regular people, and we are the people, right? Yeah, I'm wearing this jacket right now. But the bottom line is that I come from a very austere background, grew up in a very rough area, and I managed to make my way up and achieve the American dream. And that's what we're trying to do. Make it so everybody who is an American comes to this country and able to achieve the American dream.
Yeah, you said about winning over votes from the other side. Can you explain what you mean by that? Like winning over votes from the others?
Sure. There is a lot of people in the state of Illinois who are independents. Mm-hmm. They're not registered Republicans or Democrats, and that's why a lot of people say we're really a red state. Illinois has got a lot of common sense. We're a Midwestern state, and some things just don't fly. So I think when they hear from somebody who gets out there and is able to talk to somebody in your rural areas, as well as in your urban areas, then you've got a candidate who's lived there and served in the community. I mean, when I was in college, I served in Origin. And on the other hand, I was also working in Aurora, lived in Naperville, which is an affluent area. So when they gerrymandered the district, they almost gerrymandered it for me because I have family ties that go back over 150, 175 years in Illinois. And at the same time, I've been at some of the more, at least within the district, some of the poorest areas of the district where I grew up. And I didn't grow up with an excuse. I grew up with a mission. And I'm not, for the party of dependency. I'm for the party of, achieving and making something out of the life and the gifts that God gives you.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Well,
said the independence because one of my biggest issues with the feeble Illinois GOP is that there's too much concern. Guys like John Kern and them wanting to uh, try to appeal to the Democrats, right? And then we got to get the Democrats. If there are Democrats in this day and age right now, it's a waste of time to even think that you're going to go in that direction. And then sometimes they alienate people on our side. And my biggest concern with the Illinois GOP is like, they're worried about, mail-in votes, same, early voting, same day voting. We have to get people that are Republicans to want to vote for us. It doesn't matter what is the channel. We have to give them a reason to excite them, to have candidates that are going to fight for us, that they trust us, and they're going to vote for us, regardless of the channel. And sometimes the leadership that we have here, the guys like Curran, are so worried about the Democrats and what they're going to think that they don't excite us or give us a reason to get off our butts and take time to go vote for them because it's a waste of time. So I'm glad you didn't. I was testing you, and I was worried that you're going to say the Democrats. So
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I'm a trainer. I mean, I'm out there every single day, multiple times per day. If you take all my candidate competitors and you put their stuff together and you compare their schedule to mine, I still outrun them. So if you want a fighter, if you want somebody who's going to represent Illinois' values and who's not afraid to take on a hard task, then I'm demonstrating that every single day.
Well, I got some breaking news for you guys. Apparently, they finally did enough judge shopping to find an attorney to block Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Chicago. I mean, this is ridiculous considering everything we've seen on the streets up there. And what are your thoughts on these ongoing riots, this battle between Antifa and ICE that's taking place on the streets, and this just what the Chicago police are doing to them too, refusing to answer radio calls for an emergency when we just saw what happened over the weekend with two different assaults, coordinated attacks from Antifa on ICE vehicles. 10 of them attacked one vehicle, so this woman with a gun. They've only had 2 people charged from what I understand, but there was a second group of around 10 vehicles that also assaulted an ICE convoy, and nothing's been done about that.
Yeah, they what they're doing is they've laid the groundwork. First of all, they created sanctuary status. Then they allowed it to get the police so the police won't become involved. And then when the police try to do their jobs, they're told to stand. And then we have an issue that comes up in the they're trying to do it, and then people block it. It's been lip service.
Yeah, our reception is really bad now.
Yeah, sorry, you're cutting in and out again right now. We can't really make out much of what you're saying.
No. Okay. Went to the district, and the other day I was at a meeting.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not. We're basically just getting digital noise if you can hear us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just cut your picture and then cut your picture, see if the bandwidth's better then. That's
yeah, at least then we can get the audio in.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you do that, I can bring up just I got a shot of your webpage. I can just bring that up instead.
I tried that.
Yeah. All right, that should be a little better because their camera or your phone shouldn't need all that bandwidth since it's just your voice now. So sorry, if you could go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're trying to put their way into our neighborhoods over here in this district, and what they do is they appeal to people to take care of the least of these, for the illegal alien, while they're ignoring the 25,000 in the state of Illinois. And then they get the police departments to say, we're not gonna go after, we're not gonna join in and participate, support
Sounds like
ICE
what's
and
his name
other
that was in the
operations.
wheelchair? What was
This
that guy?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, we're still having a lot of trouble with your audio. We can't really make out much of what you're saying. It sounds like yeah, somebody's hacked Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking. That's it. Sorry. Hey, Mike. Why don't, if you could hear us, why don't we reschedule? How's that? All right. Can you hear us?
Sounds good. Probably get
That's all right, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no worries, not your fault. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't really have a conversation like this. But yeah, I do want to encourage you guys to go to Mike's website, check him out. We'll get him rescheduled for another time back on here. And then his site, just so I've got it up here for you, is Vote Pierce for, like the number 4 Congress.com. That's Vote Pierce for the number 4 Congress.com. And yeah, we'll get you rescheduled. I apologize. I thought we were going to be able to get your audio and stuff straightened out by now, but that does not appear to be the case. But again, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Pierce, thank you for joining us, and then we'll get it rescheduled here in the near future.
Okay, so I got some new breaking news.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for hearing. Have a great
Mike.
day.
You too.
So my buddy Ron Vining, fellow Paisan, half Paisan like me, right? Just texted me. Trump said the Italians are back. He just signed an executive order for Columbus Day.
I saw that.
He's back. We need our statue back from that little turd, Brendan Johnson. We got to get the statues back. We're not going to get them back, just so you know. Yeah, matter of fact, the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans that were fighting for it to get the Columbus statue back from Arrigo Park, Brandon Johnson would not release their own statue that the Italians paid for 100 years ago, a pocket change, to have it made in Italy and brought over here and put on a pedestal in the Park District, even though they paid for it. I still am baffled how that can't say fuck you and screw you and keep the statue. So they cannot display the statue anywhere in the city of Chicago. They had to prove it. It's going into some museum where it's not exposed to the public. Is that crazy?
No, it's nuts. Well, again, I guess if anything, we're lucky they haven't already melted it down and turned it into a George Floyd statue.
Yeah. So I guess we'll pivot to October 7th, which was disgusting. These Chicago Marxist scumbags, right, were out protesting. I think they probably did it nationally. They're across from the Israeli Consulate. And my friends Angela and Danielle, they're part of the Chicago Jewish Alliance, invited me to come. I actually spoke a little bit, and then I read my friend's letter. Sargis Sangari, I think you met Sargis before.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
I did.
so, I read a letter for Sargis. He couldn't be there, and they had a really, really good turnout. They had a really good turnout. And then the protesters across the street, the disgusting protesters that were showing Hamas flags and crazy signage. They even put up a street sign that looked like a city of Chicago street sign. Just some disgusting, they had a lot of police there. The coalition did have security guards. They were well protected. So what really disgusted me was some of the behavior of the Chicago police. Like, me and Angela were standing by our area, and the sergeant was making us move, wouldn't let us. We had to go back down the street, walk across through the protesters. We have a funny video that Angela took as I walked through the protesters. But after I left early, very early, because unfortunately some jamoke, the Antifa guys, they're pencil necks, right? There was like 2 or 3 of them yelling, swearing at the Jewish community. giving them the finger, yelling their vulgarity. So I go over there to confront them by myself. I didn't need any help, you know. And some jamoke from our side, when I was like nose to nose, I had my big Italian nose and the little Antifa guy nose. And as a matter of fact, when I walked up to him, I said, "What are you, an F a pangender or something? What are you, one of those trans tifas?" And he's like, "Ah," you know. I'm like, and so like I turned my hat I had this hat on. Smells like pepper. And I turned it backwards and I put my forehead in his head and nose to nose with the guy. And all of a sudden, over my left eye, I see this stream go because I'm right next to the guy's nose, and it hits under this guy's eye and ricochets into my eyes.
That's
Pepper,
terrible.
pepper spray, pepper gel, right? And this
Oh, that's
idiot
awful.
died. So this is my first time getting sprayed like that. And from what I'm told, pepper gel is worse than pepper spray because the gel sticks in it. Like
Yeah,
that. And it was so well, it was funny now. It was, I mean, it happened fast, but it was like slow motion. It's like I watched it go. Poof. I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
You
Like
know?
you're seeing it happen. There's nothing you can do about it. I know the feeling.
It's like it was fast but slow motion. It's really weird, man. And so I was instantly blinded, right, by this
Yeah.
clown. And then I couldn't see. You know, I got across the street and I was hanging on a light pole there. The Antifa guy, we got him. Thank you, Mike. So I'm a Catholic, and I say this over and over and over again. I'm not a good Catholic, but I am a Catholic, and I got this Crusader flag because I joined some Twitter account for Crusaders or something out of the UK, and they sent me a flag, right? So I got the flag. I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. So when I
We
went
got-
across the street, to speak with the Jewish, you know, that was on the way there, right? And so when
Yeah.
I walk up and they're all like whispering and someone like, "What's that? I don't know. What is that?" You know, they see me. I don't fit in with I don't look like one of the Jewish folks there, you know. And,
Yeah. Go figure.
I go, "Hey," I go, I'm Italian. I go, "I'm a Catholic." And I go, "That flag represents the Crusaders. Back in the day when Catholic had some balls, we used to fucking behead the Muslims, right? That's what that represents." So then they laughed and shook my hand and stuff, you know. So they're really nice people. They were there to be pleasant, peaceful, and which they all were, right?
Yeah.
So back to that incident. It took me out of action. Like I was killed in action like pretty quickly. I guess you call it friendly fire. I would call it idiot fire, not friendly fire. I was hit by
Yeah. There's
idiot
nothing
fire.
friendly about it.
He's an idiot, and took me out. Before that, and you got the video. Me and Angela. This was after we walked around the backside where people were speaking, and then the cops said, "Oh, you got to go around this way." So I'm like, "Okay, well." I go, "I'm gonna have to walk across the street through them." "Well, I don't care." I said, "Okay, I'm just giving you a heads up." So I walked through them, and Angela was filming me, and this was early, so this was like 3:20. The Our event started at 3, theirs started at 4, and I'm supposed to go 5 to 7 or something like that. So there was only a handful of them. And what's funny is these initial protesters are white freaks, total white leftist freaks, right? And so I'm walking with my flag, it's blowing, I'm trampling it over their heads. And they're like, it's hard to hear in the video because Angela's a little bit far from me. And I'm like, "What is that?" With my flag, you know, because nobody really knew what it was. I go, "I'm Catholic." "Oh, you're with them?" And I hear Angela goes, "Yes." She goes, "Yes." I go, "Crusaders. We used to behead Muslims." Can you see that video? Do you
Which
see which
one?
one it is?
Yeah. Let me figure out which one it is.
Yeah. So we'll go through that. And okay, it's just that funny one. I walked by the Hamas protest.
Okay.
There's
Give me a
one
second.
funny one.
Yeah.
In Slack, it says that. It said funny one.
Okay. I can figure that out then. It looks like this one.
Got my flag in it, hanging in it, you know. And
Yeah.
then and after that, you got a couple stills of this. Like, I don't know what the hell this guy is. He's not a Palestinian. He's not a Muslim. He's a total freak hippie. Indian whack job. They got all their nice signs. You know, this was also sponsored by Behind Enemy Lines, the leftist, um, radical Antifa, whatever. They're using the same name that we have here. Did you find that video, Mike?
Yeah, I got that video. You want to roll it?
Yeah, you can roll. It's hard to hear.
What you're hearing is them calling for intifada. Intifada is the Islamic Jihad. Rise up for war.
That's the wrong video.
Sorry.
That's the wrong video.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Let me look again then.
And so when I send these to you on Slack, buddy, and I put what the title is in there, but I guess when it's not attached to the downloaded document, then
Yeah, and they
know.
all look the same when I'm looking at this thing.
Download them. I forgot. You'll see me walking through a scaffolding. You'll see the flag. That's what's showing up there. You'll see my flag, X on the scaffolding.
I thought that was what I grabbed. So let me try this one more time.
All right. So anyway, we had a really good turnout. I'm sorry that I had to leave early. The fucking idiot squirted me in the face for no reason. There was no reason to squirt the Antifa guy. You know, the guy was a pencil neck. They were nervous, even though they were loud, giving me the finger. I wasn't in any danger. I wasn't worried. I didn't need backup. I didn't need a wingman. I didn't need anybody. And I certainly didn't need pepper gel in my eyes or the Antifa guy's eyes. He didn't deserve that. And I especially didn't deserve that. But live and learn, I guess. You got people that get nervous and freak out under pressure. That wasn't even a pressure situation either. It was nothing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely nothing.
All right, I've got this, so let's roll it.
Yeah.
You heard Angela, you're with them? I'm like, yeah, we behead Muslims. So it was hard. It was hard to hear there. So we actually did a couple rounds, around the block. I left. I left fairly quickly after I was able to see. It took about 45 minutes to get all that stuff out of there.
Oh, I bet.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get good video. I wasn't able to go and confront them. Their crowds got bigger after I left, and we'll show the video later. Is that they were disrespecting our flag? They were disrespecting the Israeli flag. They were disrespecting Netanyahu and Trump, and they were burning them on the sidewalk, right? And the city of Chicago cops, I know the cops are good cops and stuff. I know they have to follow that piece of shit Marxist Brandon Johnson, but I just don't know how they could sit there and watch them burn the flag. And I'll tell you right now, if I was there, it wouldn't have happened, or it would have massive confrontations, one of the biggest disappointments I have of not being there is to either try to stop that or get in a fight trying to stop that. And I would have done whatever I could to not let that happen. So
it's one of the Antifa whack jobs.
Yeah, look at this guy. These are the first guys there. Does that guy look
That's
like
a guy?
Well, I don't know what it is. He's got his Campbell soup cans to hold his flags, his PVC flags, and maybe he's Indian. I don't know what the hell he is.
I thought it was a woman until I just zoomed in. Nope, that's a really feminine guy. Maybe it's a transgender.
Yeah, he actually after Angela stopped filming and stuff, when I was like 20 feet past him, he was yelling and swearing at us.
Boy, that had to taken every bit of muscle he had in his body.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Can you see me stomping on the fire trying to put it out? What are they gonna do? Hit me with their little PVC flagpoles?
Yeah,
that guy might be Palestinian on the left there, but most of them are lily white. Dirt bags. Is the WGN story clip in there? I don't know. Let me see. I don't know if I put that in there.
I
Maybe
didn't
not.
see that. I've got a couple other clips though, so I can grab one of those next.
Oh, there's one. Here you go. There's one of burning the flag. Can you see that one?
Give me a second.
Yeah, this is the Israeli and American flag, and you got her doing a speech. These scumbags. This is after I left, when they got a little bit bigger crowd. But
Yeah, let me see if I can download that.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'm downloading that right now because yeah, it was a link out to Twitter.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the Jewish community had a really, really good turnout, and they had a lot of speakers. There's other Christians that were there supporting them. We had a couple hecklers and stuff, right? But one of the things that upsets me the most about the Catholic Church, of many reasons about the Catholic Church, is they're not speaking up to support Israel enough. They're not even speaking up to support America. You know what I mean? So
They're speaking against America. This guy was over here blessing ice cubes and saying that we need a world with open borders. The Pope.
Yeah. So it's like I guess I shouldn't be shocked that they're not speaking up for Israel, because they're not speaking up for us either. So it's just very disappointing. Another thing about the Catholic Church is they are culpable for all the stuff, that the Pope is complaining and whining about, and the people and how they're being treated. Well, those scumbags from the Catholic Church were basically the distribution arm of the cartels. So we have videos in the past, for those of you that watch the show regularly, there's videos of me talking to Venezuelans at the Inn of Chicago off of Michigan Avenue. And I asked them, is Catholic Charities helping you here? My friend translated. And they said, yes. I asked them, did Catholic Charities help you at the border? They said, yes. I said, did you have to pay the cartels to get into the United States across the border? They said, yes. So Catholic Charities is a distribution arm. They're as guilty as the drug mules.
Yes.
Except they're responsible for pushing people, human sex trafficking. They're flooding, and they're getting paid for it. So Mike said earlier that the Democrats wanted more voters, right? And that's true, right? What does the Catholic want? So think about South America. What are they primarily? They're Catholic. Right? They're Catholics. So they work with the Democrats to get their votes up here in Chicago, and then to fill the empty pews of they're bleeding parishioners. They're bleeding them, right? My kids went to Catholic school, in grammar school, and I pulled them out at 7th grade, I think. Yeah, I pulled them out at 7th grade because school is so underfunded. So many, the classrooms sucked. They didn't have the technology. Their gymnasium looked like it was from the 1960s. And
it probably was.
Yeah, the people are. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Matter of fact, how they get the banners and stuff. The last time they won shit was in the 60s.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It sounds like my school.
And so I guess it was mutually beneficial to both the Democrats and the Catholic Church to take our money through them, i.e. the NGOs and Catholic Charities, to pay to house them. They signed leases for them. The Catholic Church signed leases for them in apartments. They signed leases for them with ComEd, People's Gas. I got all the FOIAs, you guys, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a Catholic, but not really.
Yeah, they've really lost their way. I mean, it's such a disappointment. I was also born and raised Catholic, but here, well, I guess they were. So not far from me here in northern Cincinnati, where they have the Archdiocese headquarters, they brought in 20,000 illegal aliens from Mauritania and Senegal. So Muslim migrants, over 80% men. It's basically wiped out one of these small towns right outside of Cincinnati, a place called Loveland, Ohio. It was a town of 6,000 people, and they put almost 10,000 people into it. So more than doubled the population overnight. And it's just not even the same place anymore. It's completely wrecked.
They were eating the cats.
That's Springfield. That's north of me. I'm bracketed with I got Haitians to the north. The mayor up there is same thing, lying in his pockets. He had over 2,000 of them staying in apartments that he owned with different NGOs paying the rent for them. So he's making millions of dollars a month off their rent, refuses to do anything about it. They're literally eating cats and dogs up there. Well, Ben and I were walking around up there, Ben Berquam. We were driving up to go try to visit the mayor. We heard this bang. It was a car crash. There's another problem with they have Haitians going in, taking their driving exams. They can't pass because they can't pass it. So they'll have one person go and take the exam over and over again for different people and then sell off the license. Well, they don't know how to drive. They about ran over the front of this car, had 4 old ladies in it. They had to bring the jaws of life to cut her out. She's lucky she lived, but I guess 3 of them scattered, and then 1 stayed in the car to talk to the police, but the others were off the wind. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. So, did you upload that one? We could show what they did.
I got these flag burners.
And
is loyalty to humanity.
Say it loud, say it clear.
We don't want no Zionists here.
We don't want no Zionists here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Say it loud, say it clear.
We don't want no Zionists here.
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 We're going to hold a moment of silence as we release these balloons. Go ahead and release your balloons so that they may be a kite.
What does it represent to anti-imperialists? What does this flag represent to the indigenous people of the Americas who've had their land stolen, their homes burned?
No,
their
not
women
stolen,
raped,
conquered.
Their families starved, their sacred buffalo slaughtered, and their lives murdered by English settlers. What does this flag represent to the people of Mexico, where the U.S. sought to conquer more and more territory so they can expand their exploitations of Africans and slaves? What does this flag represent to the people of Africa who were kidnapped and stuffed into ships to live an enslaved existence in the United States, whipped into doing backbreaking labor, brainwashed with the teachings of white Christianity, incessantly raped by plantation owners?
so that shows you what's going on in our colleges and universities right there. That's the indoctrination, brainwashing. And I don't think I saw one Muslim or Palestinian in that crowd. Not one.
No.
We saw
I'm
one
glad they
woman-
didn't forget about the buffalo.
Yeah, we saw one woman of color, African American. We didn't see any Muslims or Palestinians, and we got these leftist freaks, mostly women, sitting there chanting about African Americans and Mexico and Hamas and talking about the slavery and thrown on ships. What they forgot to leave out, first of all, who was selling them? Who was selling the slaves?
It definitely wasn't the Muslims in North Africa.
No, yeah. They
Yeah.
were selling each other and conquering each other over in Africa. And then they're going to talk about us. And Christopher Columbus, by the way, thank God. What a good subject to get on, right? They're trying
Yeah.
to blame us for conquering. Well, you know what? I mean, with the exploration of the United States, I mean, that had, it evolved everywhere from the whole world. So what are you going to say?
Wait.
Like when we started, exploring different countries and the expansion of Europe and Asia, and I mean, give me a break.
Well, even before that, like, slavery is not exactly a new human invention. It wasn't something that just happened when they developed colonies here in the United States. It's been going on around the world for tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, I'm sure, probably before documented history. It's nothing new. I mean, what's different about the United States is we were the first country to fight a war to end slavery and give slaves independence. They can cry and whine about that all they want, because obviously it's a problem that's not going to sort itself out overnight. So there was a bumpy road before we got to where we are today, where people do have equal rights and equal protection under the law, at least theoretically. I mean, now it's more political oppression and a two-tier justice system based on that. But, you know, this is nothing new. This is the story of human history. It's people conquering new lands, moving into new lands. It's exploitation. It's only in the last maybe 200 years that we've started to get away from that. But man, if nothing else, this video really shows me the Democrats have solidified the mental illness vote. They are the party of mental illness, and there's no taking that away from them.
They really are. And it's like, you know, then they talk about the pilgrims, and they brought disease over here. And you know what? I mean, that's true, but it wasn't brought here on purpose, right? It wasn't done purposefully. People didn't know that about the different strands and how your body's immune system works and stuff like that, right? So some of that did happen on accident, not purposeful to demonize these people.
Yeah.
And if the Democrats want to demonize anyone, they need to demonize the Chinese who purposefully let out COVID.
Yeah.
Right? That was more damage than any pilgrims that killed a few Indians.
Or Spain and South America. They're the ones that brought over the plague blankets when they figured out they were I don't know if it was yellow. Yeah, I think it was yellow fever. They brought over the blankets in South America and handed them out there. But now, you know, it's funny too. They ignore Spain being a colonizer and Spanish being a colonized language. Nobody talks about that. But
yes,
you know, it's just us and Israel, the world's punching bags.
About the Spanish-American War as well, right? And then being conquered, and so, you know, and then here, let's. So where do we go back, and where do we draw the line, right, on whose territory it was? So my understanding, I'm not an academic scholar, as all you guys know, but my understanding is that as the migration period happened from Russia, Alaska, and they came down, right, and that's how supposedly the lands got settled, like, you know, gazillion years ago. So does that mean that actually the land that we took over really belongs to Russians?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I would interpret it based on their rules. You know,
Right.
you brought up the Spanish-American War. I just coincidentally happened to be watching something about this last night. And at the end of the war, there were thousands of people from Mexico that ran back over the border into Texas because they wanted to be part of the United States, not Mexico. A lot of them then went along the trails that were going out to San Francisco and to California as we were, you know, our manifest destiny moving across the country. They set up shops along the trail and everything else. Like, they wanted to be part of this country, not part of Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing is that I'm so tired of hearing the African American community saying that we built this country. Bullshit. U.S. slavery was wrong. It shouldn't have happened. The Democrats should not have kept slavery as long as they did. The Democrats
Exactly.
shouldn't have started a war to keep their slaves, right? But thank God you had Republicans willing to fight and lose
Die.
everything, fight
Yeah.
to stop slavery, right? So that stopped because of the Republicans. But what I don't want to hear is, oh yeah, we built this country. No, you didn't. You know what? The Chinese didn't build it. The Italians didn't build it. All of us built it. All of us built it. And we
Yeah.
came in as immigrants at different stages over the last couple centuries, right? And different things were done and built by different communities or immigrants or the Italians. I mean, think about it. Without the Italians, we would never have organized crime.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
I work hard. Mike Ma's going to get all pissed if she sees that. It's a joke.
But yeah, I mean, you're right though, and it's different groups built the country in different places at different times. You know, you had the English and the French throughout a lot of the Northeast corridor, but then you had the Dutch in Pennsylvania, the Germans in other states, in Amsterdam, which became New York. But it was an effort from everybody. I mean, plenty of people contributed to American greatness. And that's part of what this country used to be, a melting pot. That was the idea. Is people came here from all over the world to be Americans, but we've gotten so far away from it now. It's why we have half the problems we do. It's also, I think, why the Democrats want this second Civil War back. You know, they lost their slaves the first time, and now they're losing their the people they're basically holding hostage in these ghettos in the inner city, you know, prison wards of the state on Uncle Sam's plantation.
Yeah, they have no option. And we just did a show a few weeks ago. Democrats are starting their second Civil War, right? Remember, Mike?
Yeah. Yep.
And then John just said, "Oh, we're trying to start it." You know, the Democrats always reflect and make us as, you know, exactly what they're really doing, right? They have no choice but to start a civil war because their policies suck. People don't like them anymore. The young kids are turning on them. They need to get rid of Charlie Kirk because they would have really been screwed if he was around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was changing the momentum of the college university students in such a big way and quicker than any of us could have ever expected, right? So they have no choice but to start a civil war. And that's why they're utilizing this ICE stuff. And they're going to get, so we have so many different ICE agents out there, so many different conflicts and things are going on when they're doing their job. Are they going to do some things wrong and inappropriate at times? Yes. Are they going to pull in the wrong person on occasion? Yes. Does that happen to white people, black people? Yes. But the only reason it's happening is because the Democrats wanted open borders to take a risk and roll the dice and say, hey, if we fuck up America, who cares? We need our power back. Let's roll the dice. Let's see if, you know, we could flood it with these 20 million illegals to get votes and take over and conquer the country. So now that we're fighting back, they're pissed. They're going to push us into a civil war. They're going to push us, or they're going to try to push us into a civil war. And another thing is that we keep hearing from the left, you know, like those crazy white women about, you know, going back to, you know, Mexico and African Americans and Africa built America. We took it from these poor people. Well, you know what? If they really built America, then why the hell is Mexico ass backwards still being run by drug cartels and Africa is screwed up, right? I mean, why?
Yeah.
I mean, if I built America and they made America into what it was or what it is, why aren't they doing it in their own continents, their own countries? Why?
Yeah. You would think if what the Democrats told us was true, we'd already have Wakanda, but that certainly hasn't materialized yet, though there's some stupid people out there that think that's a real country.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have, did I send you that Antifa weasel laying on his back crying? I don't know if I did that. That's kind of funny, actually, even though it should have happened.
Let me check real quick. I'm looking right now.
I don't think I sent it to you. It's my bad. Yeah, I didn't send it. Yeah, so the guy that was yelling, swearing at the Jewish folks and giving me the double finger and telling me how he's not scared of me. And I'm like, that means you're scared of me, buddy. By saying you're not scared of me, you're scared of me. And
yes,
he was crying and rolling on his back like a little bitch. I don't think I sent it to you. It's my fault.
No, I'm grabbing a different one. I got another one. I got one for you here in a minute. I think the audience will like.
Cool. So we're as you could tell, we're extending our time here because of the technical difficulties we had with Mike. So I apologize.
Yeah, we'll get him back on when his phone's, or when he has internet access again. I think you guys really like him. I've had him on my program about a week ago. This guy's a real fighter, and he's more kind of what you need there, especially to push back against Pritzker and the rest of them. I got this picture of Trump with Letitia James here, since they just charged Letitia James too. She has now been indicted for mortgage fraud. And there's Trump with her tweet. No one's above the law.
Oh, that's awesome. Nobody's. I'm glad you brought that up. Right. So they're talking about. Did you see that priest that got shot in the head?
No, I didn't.
I heard. Priest, and I saw him around the ICE detention center. Right. It's actually a funny picture. Video of this guy. What they don't tell you is they were throwing shit. He's standing with the Marxists. He's standing and supporting Tren Larga, the illegal Venezuelans. He's a leftist pastor. Oh, that's a good one. I sent you a text message too of a funny one that we got to show.
All right, grabbing that now.
Yeah.
I've got this already. So I'll have that up in a minute.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want to show you this guy getting shot in the head. It's pretty funny. So just so you know, it's a paintball, right? They're using
Yeah.
paintball guns, except instead of having the paintball thing in there, they got pepper balls and the pepper. So it's not like it's a real gun. So don't think I'm an asshole and oh, how
Well,
could he say that? And let me see here. If you didn't see it, you got to see it.
yeah, I don't think I did see that one. I'm getting your other one up here in a second. I love the video ICE put out with this too.
Oh, I just sent you that after. All right, so we're sorry, we're killing time here. Well, we're almost done anyway, so we had a lot of extra time that we had to fill in there, and we're going to show you a trailer. So our guest next Tuesday is Justin Crone, and he is the director producer of October 7th. It just came out right on different streaming channels. We're going to show you the trailer after we're done, kind of fumbling through our stuff. You got the sound on there too, right?
For this image, no, I just grabbed the image for this.
Oh, it's got sound. Wee! That's not the same without the sound.
Oh, I grabbed the one I already had. I didn't grab the one you sent me.
I texted you the one with the sound. Yeah, the sound is what really makes it.
Okay, well, hang on.
Sorry, folks. I put the sound on there, which makes it better. It's supposed to be the little Antifa guy. So anyway, we got Justin Crone, who did a documentary on October 7th, and we're lucky enough that he was available Tuesday, and he's going to be on our show Tuesday. We're going to show you a trailer, and then Tuesday when we have him on, we'll show you where you could go and get the documentary. I think I'm going to try to watch it tonight or tomorrow night. It looks like it's very, very, very interesting, very sad, disgusting that anyone that could defend the Palestinians that voted in Hamas and supported a terror organization running their country and attacking these poor Jewish people. And I mean, I supported him before. I support him even more now after learning what happened. And I just can't believe the silence or the leftists that are not trying to stand up for these people. It's disgusting.
They've deluded themselves.
All right, Michael, what do we got here?
I'm working on getting another cart video up, and then I'll run that movie preview. I'm actually checking that real quick right now. Make sure it downloaded already.
So the National Guard is out west. I'm going to try to go out there Sunday with some of the folks to support them. Texas National Guard and my friend Tina and a couple other Emily and some of the regular folks are going to make a trip out there. I guess until they overcome this order by the judge, they'll be hanging out there anyway, right, Mike? I guess they're going to be there. So I guess we don't have to worry about them not being there and being deployed into the city of Chicago somewhere.
Yeah, which again, I don't understand the left's constant battle against reality, trying to keep these troops out that are only coming there to protect the city. They need it. The people want them there, but Brandon Johnson and Pritzker certainly don't. They don't want safety for the residents of Chicago. I mean, that's the only way I can read it.
Yeah. Still uploading there, sir?
Yeah, I'm having an issue with the audio on that little Twitter clip you sent me. So let me just grab this October 7th video.
Yeah, forget about it. And then we saw yesterday Trump with the different Andy No and what's his name?
Jack Posobiec, Katie Davenport, Julio Rojas. Yeah, they had a whole crowd there, actually. Great people.
Kind of pissed me off.
They'll probably invite you to the next one.
Yeah, and there's all people that had interactions with Antifa. Now that they're a terror organization, I know Trump and the DOJ are going to follow the money, and I hope to God that, you got to remember, like the Hammond brothers, those twin brothers in Chicago, the leaders, those guys are drug addicts, scumbags, right? And that they're going to have ways to track their financing. These guys that's all they did, right? They're the quarterbacks of all these crazy riots and protests in Chicago. So we got the October 7th trailer ready?
Yep. You want to roll that?
Yes, sir. This is Justin Crone.
Hamas, it's an Islamist jihadist movement that is not a national movement for the liberation of Palestine, but actually a religious movement that is seeking to establish an Islamic state in the Middle East and in the entire world.
We see messages calling for holy war against Israel.
Gaza, this is the weaponization of an entire urban landscape for the purpose of waging war.
That's the Gaza border. Most of the Hamas come here.
And those Hamas operatives are trying to break through
that fence and get to the kibbutzim and kill people. This border is not going to be penetrated. 5
years later, wow. Huh?
October 7th, the nation woke up to a nightmare.
Exactly what Israel had promised Israelis would never happen to them, happened to them.
أنا كتبت منه 3 وهرجع تاني.
The events of October 7th, 2023, sent a shockwave across the world. But most people still don't have a clear picture of what happened, or why. I came here to see, to listen, and to share the stories of many who lived through the darkest day in Israel's history.
Looks good. Can't wait to watch
Yeah.
it. And, so you'll find information on how to find it, and when we have Justin on there. Just it is upsetting. A couple questions I'm going to ask him is, the Israeli military, Mossad, and all the intelligence and stuff that they have is supposed to be the best of the best, and they train, right? And I think they helped train some of the Americans. So I don't understand how that happened. You got a bunch of goofy Muslims and little, hang gliders and shit. It's like, how did that happen? How?
Well,
I just,
some of it's kind of, and maybe Justin will be able to give us a better answer than this, but a lot of it's like 9/11. There's these conspiracy theory people that think that our government was given not advanced knowledge of 9/11. But it's like we receive thousands of threats every single day from these jihadis all over the world. You never know what ones are real, what ones aren't. And in Israel's case, part of the problem why October 7th was so bad was part of their defense system was not being properly maintained. They need multiple cameras to do the targeting and to compute where to fire to take down these rockets and things that they're coming in. And the grass was overgrown. The lower ground-based sensors couldn't see the targets until it was too late. These are all little simple things that just went wrong to make it even worse than it was. But it's also that human wave thing when you've got thousands of people willing to give their lives streaming over the border for the opportunity to kill a Jew. You can't stop all of them. They took pipes that USAID gave them to bring water into Gaza, and they turned those into rockets. They fired them at. There's literally rockets they fired into Israel that had USAID logos still on the side of them.
Holy shit! You got to find that before our show. I like before next Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I've got pictures of it. We'll have that ready.
Another question I'd like to ask to him too, and I know leftists that are watching, our little spies hate that, but when they're trying to clean out Gaza, and they got to get rid of those. I mean, they got to, and I don't know what they're going to do after they're done with this stuff because they're not going to go away, right? If they're the surrounding Muslim countries, my understanding is they didn't want to take any Palestinians, right, Mike? Correct?
No, they don't, because Kuwait and other places have tried it before. Jordan, they all have problems with them both being criminals and just stealing left and right, but also trying to form these little jihadi cells. You know, Kuwait's not exactly pro-Israel, but they also don't want a war on their hands. The King of Jordan, same thing. He's pretty reasonable. He wants peace in his land, and that's not going to happen with these violent jihadis. So he doesn't want anything to do with them. Frankly, I don't blame him. Same with Egypt now too.
I don't know. I would have went to these other countries, say either you take these people out or we're going to flatten the entire Gaza and whoever's in it to protect my people. I argue with them. Oh, look at this, the babies and stuff. I go, they're putting babies in ovens, man.
Yeah.
They're putting babies in ovens. And they talk about, here in the United States, indigenous people, my understanding is that they were there before, like thousands of years ago. And now they're trying to claim it for the Palestinians. And so you can't be for indigenous people here in the United States and then, not be for it in Israel. It just shows the hypocrisy of the left.
Yeah, though they have no consistency. It's wherever they think they can score points.
If somebody asked me, I said, hey, if somebody killed my family and they were living in a neighborhood and I had the ability and I didn't know where they were at and they're there, would I take it? They said, some leftists, would you take out the whole neighborhood? I said, yes, I would. I would take out the whole neighborhood to get people if they killed my family, without a doubt. I would on that. And you don't have to like it. I don't care. And that's kind of what they were doing. They've been going through this. They gave them so many chances. So hopefully everything will work out now. We'll find out more. We have Justin on next week.
Perfect. I think he's on Tuesday, and then we'll get Michael Pierce rescheduled. I'll give him a shout, and we'll see when we can get him worked in, where he's home or somewhere with a stable internet connection.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. And we'll be back next Tuesday with even more. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.